Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I am not an economist, nor have I formally worked in finance or economic planning. However, as a medical professional and an educated citizen, I strongly believe that the national budget is not just a collection of numbers or financial statements. It directly impacts every aspect of our daily lives. From healthcare systems and the availability of medicines to hospital, infrastructure, taxation, and public welfare, the budget ultimately shapes the reality we live in. That's why in today's discussion, I will try to explain the concept of the budget in simple, practical terms so that every viewer, regardless of their background, can understand what a budget really is and why it matters for each of us. What is a government budget? Explained simply for everyone, Pakistan Budget Special. Every year in June, we hear one common word everywhere in Pakistan: budget. News channels, politicians, economists, and even social media start discussing it. But have you ever asked yourself what actually is a budget? Why is it so important for our lives? And how does it affect the price of petrol, electricity, salary, and taxes? Today, we will understand the government budget in the simplest possible way so that every common person can clearly understand it. So we start from a simple basic question. What is a budget? A government budget is a financial plan of a government for a specific time period, usually 1 year. It shows how much money the government will earn, how much money it will spend, and where this money will be used. Simple example to understand the budget is just like a family plans. Income, that is salary, and expenses, for example, house rent, food, bills. So similarly, the government also plans its national income and spending, and this is called a budget. Why is a budget prepared? What's the need for budget? To understand this, a budget is prepared for financial planning to ensure government does not spend blindly. So this is the first aim of making a budget: financial planning. Second, resource allocation, deciding education budget, health budget, defense budget, and development projects. So these four are the common resources where the budget is allocated. Then the third is economic stability, to control inflation, unemployment, economic growth. So the economic stability is measured in the terms of the inflation, unemployment, and economic growth. And this is ensured by presenting a budget, making a budget. The fourth aim is accountability, to make government answerable, that you had planned this and where, what are the results, what are the parameters, what are the outcomes. So these are the four reasons that a budget is prepared. Well, the next question is, what are the basic terminology of a budget? What terminology we need to understand to comprehend a budget? First is the revenue. This is the money earned by the government, and it comes from taxes, customs duty, fees. So these three makes revenue of a government: taxes, customs duty, and fees. Then another terminology is expenditure. And this is the money spent by government on salaries, hospitals, roads, and other developmental projects. Then third is the tax. What is tax? This is the compulsory payment by the public to the government or by the institutions, private institutions to the government. Fourth terminology is fiscal year. And we know it's a 12-month period used for budgeting. In Pakistan, this is from July of one year to June the next year. For example, this year the budget will be from 1st July 2026 to 30th June 2027. Another terminology is the deficit. This is when spending is more than income, and it is said it's a deficit. Then surplus, when income is more than spending. Then the debt. This is money borrowed by government, internally or externally. So what are the objectives of any budget? A government budget has major objectives: economic growth, to increase national income, then resource allocation, proper distribution of money. The third is reducing inequality, helping poor through subsidies and welfare. The fourth is stability, controlling inflation and financial shocks. And then the employment generation, creating jobs through projects. Then we also need to understand the essential components of a budget. And what are these? A complete budget includes revenue budget, means income of government. Then, and that is from the taxes, the duties, and the fees. Then the expenditure budget. And by expenditure budget, we mean spending on development and services. The third essential component is capital budget, means big projects like roads, dams, infrastructure in the country. The fourth is the fiscal deficit statement. And this is the difference between income and spending. And every budget has this component. So when you read the budget, you please do read, do give attention to these essential components. Then the policy measures, new taxes, reliefs packages, and subsidies. So every budget does have these components. What is a good budget? Question comes when we understand the basic terminology, the objectives, the essential components. So what is a good budget? A good budget is one that supports economic growth, controls inflation, reduces poverty, creates jobs, invests in health and education, and keeps debt under control. And most importantly, it improves the life of common people. So when a budget has all these characteristics, it will be called a good budget. What about a bad budget? What is bad budget? It's a budget which leads to high inflation, increased taxes without relief, rising debt, low development spending, economic instability. In simple words, it increases burden on the public. So this is a bad budget. What should common people expect from a budget? A common citizen should expect from a budget price stability, no sudden inflation, affordable fuel and electricity, better hospitals and schools, job opportunities, and fair taxation system. And of course, support for lower income groups. A budget should not only focus on numbers, but on people's life quality. So just have a last 10 years overview of Pakistan budget. Over the last decade in Pakistan, key trends of the budgets are increasing fiscal deficit, rising public debt, heavy spending on loan repayment and defense, limited spending on education and health, and frequent IMF programs, and inflation pressures on common people. So these are the trends over the last decade in Pakistan of budget. Over the last decades in Pakistan, the common patterns has been revenue is less than expenditure, so borrowing increases. Let's compare the Pakistan budget over other countries. To summarize, the Pakistan has high debt burden, low tax collection base, heavy indirect taxes like fuel and electricity, and limited social spending. And as compared to Pakistan, when we see the India, the neighboring example, it has got a larger economy, higher tax base, more infrastructure investment, and faster digital tax systems. And when we compare Pakistan budget with Bangladesh, Bangladesh has strong export growth, textile sector. It is improving fiscal management and better GDP growth rate in recent years. And when we compare this with the global developed countries, they have high tax collection, strong social welfare systems, and stable budgets, and low corruption levels in budget execution. So this is how we compare Pakistan with other countries. So the final message, my dear viewers, is a budget is not just a financial document. It is a direction of a nation's future. It decides how we live today and how we live tomorrow. So every citizen should understand the budget, not just economists. Thank you very much. And I hope with today's discussion, a common man will be able to understand the exact meanings of a budget and to understand the rationale of different figures which are given by the government. Thank you very much for being with me. See you in the next vlog on some other topic. Till then, Allah Hafiz.